Welcome, this is ErgoQuest Zero Gravity Workstations, and today we're showing a modified version of the Zero Gravity Workstation 0B-XL. So this workstation comes with a motorized headrest and footrest, a wide footrest, and foot plates. So it's a little hard to see from this angle, but there's an extra large footrest at the front of this workstation. And there's metal foot plates as well. And we're going to give you some basic info about the 0B-XL and answer any of your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. So one of the questions we get a lot is how much space is recommended for this workstation. So typically we recommend 5 feet by 7 feet and 7 feet ceilings. The weight capacity is scalable, so it can go up to 550 pounds. The monitor size, it can go up to 49-inch monitors, so you can see we have pretty big monitors here. The monitor quantity, we can do up to 6 monitors, so stacked 3 over 3. Here you can see we have 3 monitors. That's typical for the 0B-XL. Does this workstation allow you to stand while working? Yes, it does. That is one of the main benefits of it. So you can use it lots of different angles, different positions. Does it allow you to work fully flat? Yes, it does. What kind of attachments or add-ons can you get with the 0B-XL? So as you can see with this workstation, there's lots of modifications. So you can get those foot plates, which I'll try to show if I can move this a little bit. It's a little hard to see. Tilt this down. So you can see one of those metal foot plates right here, and a little bit of the large footrest there. So I'll try to go around on the other side. It might be easier to see. So here you can see that wooden foot plate there.
It's mirrored again.
Okay. Alright, so you can also get accessories such as a book holder or task lighting. So there's lots of different things that you can get. Independent motorized lift for the keyboard tray if you want the keyboard tray to rise separately from the rest of the workstation. You can get extra side tables, so you can see here we have a side table there. You can get them attached to the workstation, but also unattached side tables. We have a lot of different versions of the 0Bs. So one question we get a lot is, what's the difference between like the 0B-XL, the 0B, the 0B Flex, 0B Lift, etc.? So the 0B-XL is different from the 0B. It allows you to have 3 monitors instead of 2. More than 3. So if you have more than 2 monitors, you want to go with 0B-XL. And it also has motorized monitor tilt feature. The 0B lift adds a lift chair mechanism. So that helps move you from a seated position to a standing position. The 0B Flex and 0B1 also have kind of different features to them. As well. And then another question we get a lot is which workstation, if you have your own recliner, which should you get instead of maybe the 0B-XL? So the 2C workstation, you can use that like with a perfect chair, or you can use that just with your own regular recliner. This workstation, the chair comes integrated into it, so you purchase it all together, all as one unit. So if you have your own recliner you want to use, this might not be the option for you. But most people like to get it all together. But some people like to use their own recliner, so it's all up to you.
Yeah, the ZGW2C is essentially this workstation without the chair.
Yeah, so it's a little bit cheaper, quite a bit cheaper. This costs $7,995. I think the 2C costs, is it like $4,995? Or maybe a little bit cheaper than that. I'll have to double check. But yeah, you can save yourself the cost of a chair if you have your own chair. So that's nice. So why would you choose the 0B-XL workstation? It's a great workstation if you want to work standing or work fully flat or any position in between, and if you have 3 or more monitors. So that's typically why people get this workstation. It has 5 motors that control the monitor height, keyboard tray height, monitor tilt, leg rest angle, seat angle, and backrest angle. Back here so you can get a better sense of the workstation.
And we should mention too, this is an unfinished workstation. This is one that we're customizing for a client.
Yes.
Unique features. This is a long reach boom arm that he's going to be using with his special microphone. He also wanted these special foot plates to be able to lift his legs up periodically to rest his lower legs and knees, and on the underside of his upper thigh. He also wanted a longer, wider footrest, articulating footrest to push his feet against. He's also about 6'6", 340 pounds, so that's why we have the dual high force actuators in the back. And why the chair is 28 inches wide rather than 24 inches wide. So those are the types of customizations we can do to accommodate specific client needs. Another unique feature is this monitor configuration is that we wanted a 43-inch, a 27, and another 27 in portrait. But he needs to be able to move this portrait monitor out of the way because it has to have audio access to a speaker that's in the corner of the room. So in order to accomplish that, we added this motorized tilt feature to lift the monitor out of the way, so it's not blocking sound coming from the speaker in that part of the room. So when he's doing recording or he needs certain feedback from his speakers, we can just lift the monitor out of the way. And when it's done, we'll go back to the solution.
Yeah, that's a cool feature. I definitely haven't seen that before.
Yeah, so this one also has the provision for the separate motorized keyboard tray height. The motor is currently hooked up. This one has almost all of the accessory options.
Well, it doesn't have a book holder or task lighting, right?
Well, the laptop tray also can double as a book holder. Most people use it in various capacities. And the main tray can also support the laptop if you want to keep everything together. If you want to see all four screens at the same time.
Yeah, so as I was saying about the 0B Flex and the 0B1, what are the differences? So the Flex workstation allows you to fully retract the leg rest, 90-degree angle. And then
yes, and the Flex also, the main difference between the Flex and the 0B, just the standard 0B is it has two articulating counterbalance arms. So there are two sections to each monitor. On the second section, on the main general 0B is a fixed arm. On the Flex, it's a counterbalance arm. So you have the ability to raise and lower manually the monitors in the keyboard tray.
And then what about the 0B1? How is that different?
The 0B1 just primarily, the difference is it adds another monitor arm that can come off the left side of the mast. So in addition to the two monitors that come off cantilevered in front of the chair, there's another one that comes off to the side, so it gives the added flexibility of a third monitor. That can be in portrait or landscape, or it can be swung around and even put on top of you can stack monitors. That was used with a lot of monitor flexibility. And use up to 3 monitors without having to upgrade to an XL version of the workstation.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Anything else that people should know about the 0B-XL?
Yeah, it does require space, so you will need, at a minimum, for comfortable use, about 6 feet by 7.5 feet. And then the mast goes quite tall too. The one configured here will go up to almost 98 inches, so you're going to need more than 7 feet.
So if people...
if you want to use the full range of motion. Now, we can customize that. The mast doesn't have to be that tall. If you don't need a full 60 inches of height adjustment, we we could make the mask shorter. For instance, the client that this one is going to only have 85-inch ceilings. So we're actually going to reduce the mast height by about 10 inches. And he just has determined he really doesn't need more than about 6 inches of mast height change anyway for his needs, so we should be all set. So again, it's not a one-size-fits-all. We can make customizations and alterations to accommodate office dimensions or home ceiling dimensions or whatever the required environment limitations are.
So if somebody has a smaller space, but they want to use like 3 monitors, then you'd recommend like the 0B-XL would be a good workstation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have enough variation in the product line with mixing and matching and customization. We can pretty much accommodate any situation. And that's because we make everything here in Michigan. So we're waiting on a batch load from China that's already pre-configured that can't be altered. Since we make pretty much every order to suit, we can respond very quickly to changes.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to get a different angle here of this workstation. So this is the 0B-XL modified, not completely finished yet.
Yeah, this, for instance, a lot of these are tack welds. On a custom project, what we'll typically do is we'll have several progress meetings. Initially, we'll just tack things together. And just be some basic tack welds. Just trying to get the configuration to a point that the client can review and say, yes, I like that, or no, I want to change this. And then we'll maybe have one more meeting like that where they can confirm. And then once they give the thumbs up on the initial configuration, then we'll go back, finish weld everything, polish everything up. And then it goes to powder coat, which means it gets baked in the oven with a really high strength textured black finish that looks very professional and finished. And then we'll have a final pre-shipment meeting with the client where we review everything in its final form. And then it gets shipped.
All right. I think we're coming up on 20 minutes here, so we're gonna call it a day, I think.
Yeah, maybe in another later session we can show everybody the powder coating oven
Yeah, that would be cool.
and the powder coat process.